Hi everybody, I'm back again. We're going to do another segment today. Today we're going to be doing a spaghetti squash, and then we're going to make some octopus with a nice tomato sauce that I've already made. Now the tomato sauce I made in a previous episode, I will get it back up online here shortly, but I made them homemade from the garden. It was all my vegetables from the garden. It was tomatoes, peppers, sweet peppers and hot peppers, onions, fresh basil, oregano, etc. So we'll be getting that on there. Right now I'm going to show you the baking of the spaghetti squash. I've already preheated my oven to 375. And what I'm going to do is we're going to soften up the spaghetti squash first. So the first thing I do is I take my knife and I make some little slices along the center of it into the spaghetti squash. And you're going to know the reason for that in just a moment. Because what we're going to do is we're going to take this, and here's the spaghetti squash, and I'm going to put this inside the microwave. This is going to soften it up and make it easier for processing. So right now, I'm just going to take this and put it in the microwave. And I'm going to run the microwave for about 3 minutes and 30 seconds on high to just kind of soften up the insides of this, and then we'll be able to work from it. So I'll be back with you in just a moment. Okay, well, we've gotten our spaghetti squash out of the microwave now. We've had it in there for a little bit over 3 minutes, 3 minutes 30 seconds. I'm going to slice it in half, which I've done. And then I'm going to take the ends and I'm going to slice off the ends on each of the ends, like so. And it makes it easier when I go to work on it. Just a nice little trick for you to keep in mind. So, with that in mind, I'm going to take a spoon and I'm going to scoop out the insides. Now when we're doing this, the only thing we're really trying to get out, you can see that right there, is we're getting out the seeds. So we're just worried about getting the seeds out right now, because we aren't going to eat those. They don't taste very good. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sprinkle liberally with kosher salt. And we're going to go all over the inside of this. And the reason we're doing that is we're going to sweat out some of the water. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these on the cutting board. I'm going to let them sit for about 20 minutes. And with the kosher salt on there, it'll draw the moisture out. We're going to wipe them out, get that moisture out. Then we'll continue on from there and I'll show you what's next. Okay, I'm back again, folks. And I've got my spaghetti squash. I've had it sitting with kosher salt on it for 15 minutes. And you can kind of see where it's been beating up. And with that, I'm just going to take some paper towel and we're going to wipe out the insides. So, got the inside all nice and wiped out. And then we're going to do the other one. Again, same thing. Just take your paper towel, wipe it out, and then wipe all that excess water. It wipes a lot of that salt away, but a little bit of salt in there is not going to hurt anything. We want that anyway. So, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some EVO, extra virgin olive oil, and I'm just going to pour a little bit into each one of these. And then we're going to take our fingers, and we're just going to coat it around the inside and around the outside of this. Or the outer rim, I should say, not the outside, but the outer rim. And I'm going to wash my hands like I do frequently throughout my shows. Next thing I want to do is I want to take some parchment paper, and I've already preheated my oven to 375. So we're going to take some parchment paper. That's going to go on top of our sheet pan. And then we're going to take our spaghetti squash and we're going to put it face down, okay? With that, I'm going to then put it inside the oven. And we're going to bake that for 30 minutes. So after 30 minutes, we'll come back again and I'll show you the next step of that. Okay, I'm back again, folks. And we've gotten the spaghetti squash out of the oven. And this is what it looks like now. And so what I'm going to be doing, you'll notice there's a lot of water down here, moisture from the spaghetti squash down onto parchment paper. I'm going to be peeling it out with a fork. And when doing this, it's going to peel it out, and it kind of looks like spaghetti. I mean, it's exactly why they call it spaghetti squash. But you just kind of take your fork like this, around the inside of the rim, and you're just going to keep peeling it down. And you'll see all these little strands of spaghetti squash coming out. And you just got to keep working your way all the way around. And we're going to peel it all out. And then I'm just going to put it into this bowl. Now it's not completely cooked at this point. Well, it's pretty much completely cooked, but not fully. I'm going to warm it up when I finish doing the octopus sauce that I'm going to be putting on top of it for tonight's dinner. And we'll go from there. So you can see what it's looking like there. And then you just peel it out into your bowl. And as you're doing that, you're just going to keep working around. And it's just going to leave you the shell of the spaghetti squash left. And that we're going to throw into the garbage. Now I should start doing composting for my garden. And my plans are to start and build a composter for next year. So I will be doing that. But this year, as of now, I'm not doing that currently. And you can see there is the spaghetti squash down in there. So we'll be back shortly, and we'll be working on the octopus. Hey everybody, I'm back again, and we've got the spaghetti squash ready. So now we're going to start working on our octopus. So I've got octopus here that I buy in a package, frozen, and I've got enoki mushrooms, and we have some chopped garlic, some EVOO, some butter, of course. I have a homemade tomato sauce that I've already made previously that I made with all the veggies from the garden. So in this sauce, I've got garlic that came out of the garden, shallots, onions, sweet peppers, some hot peppers, and of course tomatoes. And some salt that didn't come out of the garden. Didn't dig it up either. So with that in mind, we're going to get started on this and get going. So I'm going to turn the camera down so you can see my cutting board as I'm working. You won't be seeing my lovely face at this time. You get kind of an idea what I'm doing. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a sweet bell pepper. Again, it came from the garden. And I'm going to trim it a little bit because it's got a little bit of stuff on it that I don't really care for. So, but we're going to go ahead, and I grow organically. I don't use any pesticides or harsh chemical fertilizers. So we're going to do some little slices here, and this is going to be part with our octopus, and we're going to saute our octopus, and then we're going to add in all the rest of this yummy stuff as we go. So bear in mind, and we'll go fairly quickly. Okay, so we've got that done. Now we're going to turn our stove, and again I'm using electric cooktop, and I like the ceramic because it's easy for cleaning. But so what I've got going on here, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move my camera for you so you can get a better view of the cooking area. So with that, I'm going to move this over. Sorry about that, folks. Again, I'm not real good at this yet, but I will get better. And that's showing our cooktop. So I've got that going, and normally I would have my fan going a little bit in the background, but I think that makes a little bit too much noise for background noise for people to hear. So I'm not going to leave that on. So if it gets a little smoky in here, forgive me, and maybe I'll stop the camera and vent the place out, and then we'll restart back up filming. So right now I've got that going there. I got some EVO. Just pour a little bit of that in the pan, not a lot, just a little bit. And if, I will be putting recipes into the comment sections. Also, remember I have a website, eatlocalpaleo.com, and we're going to have more videos on there, and we're going to have full recipes. We're going to have cookbooks, PDF cookbooks that you can buy. They're not going to be expensive. They're all going to be $2.99. So cookbooks are going to be inexpensive, but they are going to be downloadable. They'll have step-by-step instructions in there along with photos. So we've got the oil going, a little bit there, and we're going to throw in just a little bit of butter. So it'll be about a tablespoon of butter, roughly. And we're going to start getting that going so that we can saute that. Now, we also have some of these enoki mushrooms that we're going to be using. And these are delicious. They add a lot of depth and flavor to it. So we're going to be using some of these. We're going to be using some for garnish. And we're going to be using some in the actual octopus dish. So I just need a little bit right now. So about that much. Okay, and with these, I'm going to leave them intact, but I am going to pull them apart. So I'm not going to chop them up. I'm not going to do like a rough chop like I do with larger mushrooms. I'm just going to like pull these apart, and they pull apart really easily. And I kind of grab them along the tops where I find the head of the mushroom, and just kind of pull it apart from there. And like I say, they come apart fairly easily, and they're kind of fun. They're kind of a fun little thing in there. It's almost like having some noodles in there, I guess, would be kind of equated for texture-wise. The flavor is, it's like earthy. It's that earthy smell and kind of a flavor to it. So, I mean, they're a very good mushroom to work with. So, there, I've got my enoki mushrooms going. We have our garlic here ready to go, which will be shortly. And now we have our butter going. So the first thing I'm going to add to this is going to be some of our sweet peppers. So we're going to get those all nice and sauteed up. And I'll be back with you when I'm ready to put the mushrooms in, and then finally the octopus. And we've got a little bit of white wine, Chardonnay. When I talk about wines, I'm going to tell you that when you use a cooking wine, don't buy a specific cooking wine. Just buy a wine that you would drink. Any wine that you drink can be used as a cooking wine. So don't buy specific cooking sherries or cooking wines. You just buy what you like to drink, and that will work just plenty fine. So I will sign off for the moment, and I'll be right back when we do the mushrooms. Okay, hi there, folks. I'm back. I'm going to add some of the garlic in there now. We've got the sweet bell peppers cooking up right nicely. They're browning up nice. I don't know if you can quite see that very well, but those are all browning up real nice. We're going to brown the garlic up. Now keep in mind, if you put the garlic on too long, it's going to burn. So you have to watch garlic. So we're going to keep that stirring. And then I'm going to be transferring this to a small bowl after I put the mushrooms in. And then I'm going to cook the octopus separate. Then we're going to add that back in there. And then we're going to put in the sauce. Okay? Well, we're going to pull the octopus back out, everything back out, and then we're going to warm the sauce back up. And then we're going to plate it. So we'll get everything plated, and from there we'll go. So right now this garlic smells just wonderful. Just wonderful. So we get that going and out of there, because we don't want it to burn, because that'll give us bad flavors. It will make it way too strong. So we don't want that. So good rinse. And I love my cast iron cookware. See how quick and easy that was? Nice rinse out. Got all the garlic out of there. So now I have a nice clean pan to start from scratch with again. And from there, what we're going to do is we're going to work on the octopus. Finally put it in the mushrooms. We're going to pull that all out again, like I said, and then do the sauce. So with that in mind, we're going to need a little bit of EVO. And again, we don't need a lot. And we're going to let that come up to temperature. And then once that's at temperature, we're going to add the octopus. We're going to saute that, and then we're going to throw in the mushrooms and a little bit of white wine to enhance the flavor. We're going to pull that all out, and then we're going to warm up the sauce, put it over top of the spaghetti squash, and then we're going to add the octopus and all the other goodies on top of it. So stay tuned, and things are going to go well. So, pan's warming up nicely. And like I say, we've got our octopus here. Now, I used to live a lot of different places around the world, and one of the places was my most favorite places I've lived in was Portugal. And I really enjoyed Portugal a lot. It's a wonderful country. The people are very friendly. It's just a really, really nice place. So, this kind of reminds me of some of the dishes I've had when I was there. And back in those days, I was a much younger man. And at that time, I didn't really cook. I was doing different kinds of work, and I just didn't have time to do cooking and so forth. So, we got the octopus in there. We're going to take a little bit of kosher salt and salt that down. And we're just talking like a pinch. So, we don't need a lot of it. Just a nice little pinch in there to add a little bit of flavor boost. And we're going to get our octopus in there sauteing nice. So, I'll come back here in a little bit and I'll show you what's going on with that. Well, hi everybody. I'm getting ready to do another video for you. This time though, I'm going to be doing not fully paleo. I am going to be throwing some potatoes in there. I'm doing this for my son, and he just got home from school, so I'm going to make him a little snack. Kind of a breakfast snack is what he wanted, so that's what I'm going to make. There will be a little bit of potatoes in it. The rest of it's all paleo. All you got to do is just take out the potato portion of it to make it a paleo thing. Anyway, let's get started. I'm going to put this down a little bit so you can see towards my cutting board what's going on and what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. And then also again, I'm going to be working off the stove, and I'm going to be using a pan. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of the hand-cut bacon. And I really like this stuff. And it does come with the skin on it, so I do trim the skin off. And like so. So we're going to be working on this and getting things cooked. So enjoy, and let's go from there. So I'm going to cut some of the bacon, and what I do is I cut a few slices, and I only need a few because he's not super big. So, and we're going to put our stove on 2 in our skillet, and I like using cast iron. I do enjoy cast iron stove stuff. It's durable, it works well if you take care of it, it lasts forever. It's just a really, really good product. So I really like cast iron. I don't use any of the Teflon stuff, any anodized. I just try to stay away from all that. I do stick with the cast iron stuff predominantly for this type of application. So with that, we've got the hand-cut bacon going. It's a hickory smoked bacon. It's really a good stuff. I pick it up at a local butcher shop here. So we'll be coming back to you here shortly and continue on. Okay, now I'm going to start cutting up some of the vegetables and get them ready to go. So we'll be cutting them up and getting them ready to put into the frying pan along with that. And what we're going to do is we're going to fry these up so they're nice and crispy. And I'm adding in both red potatoes and some Yukon Gold ones that I got from the local grocery store. Again, I get most of my stuff over at a place called Myers, and I've been going there since I was a child. So just a place I kind of got used to going to. It's a fairly good store. They have a lot of really good stuff, but I really like their produce. Their produce section is beyond compare. So also you can see I've got some radishes that I'm going to cut up in here, and these add a lot of flavor, and they're a really good substitute for potatoes in the paleo portion. So I use these a lot when I'm making these kind of like little hashes, vegetable hashes in the mornings for breakfast. Okay, so we got that all cut up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop up some onion real quick. So we're going to add some onion, and we're going to have some sweet bell pepper to it. And just do a rough chop on the onion. And I keep these all separated because I cook them in stages. So the first thing that's going to go into the pot is going to be the potatoes and the radishes, because those take a little while to cook up and brown up. And then I've got the bacon in there already going, and that's going to give me my grease to work from. So what I'm going to do is use the bacon grease to cook the rest of this in, and then the bacon will be part of what his little meal snack will be. Okay, so we've got that all sliced up, and I'll be back to you shortly again. Okay, I'm back again, and we're going to start cutting up the avocado. I've got the veggies that are going to go into the little hash all gone, so they're all cut up nice. And next what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working on the avocado and getting that all done. So we're going to peel our avocado, and I'm going to turn this down so you can actually see what I'm doing, and as I'm doing it. And so we're going to cut our avocado. We're only going to use half. We only really need half for this particular meal. And then I will save the other half for another segment, for something else that I'm going to cook. So we'll set that off to the side. And I got a little bad spot in this particular one, so I'm going to cut that out so you can see what that looks like. That's the part we're not going to partake and eat. Now, easiest way to take my avocado is take it and slice it like so. And it'll look kind of pretty, and we'll take our avocado slices out. Now this is a pretty ripe avocado. Usually I like to work with ones a little bit on the tougher side, because they just make a little bit nicer presentation, and a lot of times we'll put them into the scramble towards the end. So now we have our avocado, and you can see our food that we got going there and here. So next thing we're going to be doing is working on getting the hash going. Okay, so we have our hash going now, and you can see that we've got the potatoes and the radishes inside there, and then we have the rest of the remaining ingredients going. And while that's cooking, I'm going to get our eggs ready and prepared. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a scrambled egg for him. So put that down where you can see what I'm doing. Crack the egg. And we're going to do scrambled eggs. Now I like to put heavy whipping cream in my eggs when I'm making them. It adds a lot of really good flavor. And it makes it nice and light and fluffy. So, we're going to add a little bit of that in there. Now, with that, we're also going to add a little bit of spices in there. So, I'm going to throw in just a little bit of garlic, granulated garlic. Not a lot, just a little bit. And we're going to put in a little bit of red pepper in there also. So, a little bit of ground cayenne pepper and just a little sprinkles. We don't need a lot, and then we're going to whisk it up. So you bring it to a nice whisk, and that is going to make a really, really nice fluffy egg. when it's all done, and it'll go really well with what we're making. So I'm trying to pair everything together. And the sausages we're going to use today are going to be a jalapeno cheddar sausage, smoked sausage. So we're going to be using those also. So bear with me and we'll be back shortly again. Okay, we're now ready to start adding some more of our ingredients. So what we're going to do is we're going to now add in our green peppers, or sweet peppers, or bell peppers. And we're going to start getting those all sauteed up also. And we're going to open up our package of sausages. And we're only going to need 2. Now with the sausages, I'm going to add these right on in here. So we're going to do a little cut on them. Making them kind of like bite-sized chunks. And then we'll brown up nice. Now we're going to add the sausages in there also. We've got the sweet bell pepper in there. And now we're going to add in those sausages to start going. And then in a moment, we're going to add in the onion slivers and start to get those going in also. And if you were here, you could smell how everything's tasting. Because it's going to be just wonderful. I mean, it's smelling so good in here right now. Just unreal. So, bear with me, and we'll be back again through the magic of television. Okay, we're back again, and I'm in the process of sauteing, frying up all these sausages, along with the peppers, and it's going to create a whole lot of good flavor. Now, if you were here, you'd be able to see what was going on, or be able to smell it and see exactly how this is all transpiring. But we've got everything going, nice little bit of browning going on, and now we're going to add our onions. So we're going to be sauteing these up along with everything else and getting them to a nice little brown. And then that portion will be done along with the bacon that we've got going. Then the only thing left will be to throw in the eggs, and we will scramble those up. And you can hear that sizzling. Oh, sizzling sounds so good. So this is going to be so delicious. It's going to be one of those things that I think you're really, truly going to enjoy. So, out there in YouTube land, make your comments. If you have recipes that you'd like me to convert and change, let me know. I'm always happy to do that. It's a fun experience for me. And soon my website will be done, eatlocalpaleo.com, and that'll be done. And on there, I'm going to start having PDF recipe books that you can download. There's going to be a charge for them, but it's going to be minimal. $2.99 per cookbook, and I plan on going through quite a few different areas. Everything from desserts to entrees, different types of ethnicity type foods that we can produce, and just really tasting all sorts of different foods from all over the world. Because that's my ultimate goal. Ultimate goal is to travel both the U.S. and abroad and start doing local cuisine in their areas, but paleo. So stick with me on this. You're going to like this. You're going to like this show, I think. This is going to be a channel you're going to enjoy. So back to what we have going here. Onions are starting to brown up really nicely. We just probably have a couple more minutes left of that. And everything else is browning up really nicely on here also. And you want to kind of move things around so everything's getting a little bit equal treatment as far as getting some pan time for the little browning that we're going to get. Because that brown adds so much nice flavor. So that's what we're striving for, is flavor. Layers of flavor. Okay, we're back again. And so now we're getting ready to make our scrambled eggs. And again, I've got it down on the pan so you can see. I'm going to use some of this Vegeline. I really like this. It's a good product. Works really well for me. A few friends of mine own restaurants, and they've told me they swear by it. So I started using it a few years ago, and I'm very impressed. It does work really well. We've already got our eggs ready to go. So we're going to start making up our scrambled eggs. And as always, you'll notice that I'm always washing dishes as I go, because I do have a small kitchen. I try to keep things clean as I go. It just makes everything so much easier for me. And I like being organized. And I'm also washing my hands on a regular basis. So here we go. We're making our eggs. We have the stove top on 2. I'm using electric ceramic cooktop. I've had gas stoves. I've had electric stoves. I like the ceramic cooktop electric tops. It's just a nice way to do it. Easy to clean. Maintains a really good heat. And I found that I really don't use gas that often unless I'm going to be going and doing grilling or something, and I do that outdoors. And yes, I do live in Michigan, but I do grill year-round. So the snow doesn't stop me. The only thing that stops me is sometimes if it's a heavy rain, and today is a rainy day actually, so I'm not out doing that at all. And eggs are so fast. They take very little time to cook, and we don't want to make them too dry. So those are finished up. And we'll get you a view of the plate. So, you got our eggs, and doesn't that look good? So, there we go. The remaining thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of kosher salt on top. And that's it. So thank you for tuning in. Please come out and watch more of our videos. I plan on putting up more and more videos on a regular basis. And eventually I'm going to start doing the live streaming. So we'll do streaming so you can actually watch the whole process from start to finish. No video editing, just straight streaming out so you can see it. There may be some bloopers in there. Maybe I'll make a blooper reel at the end of the year. If people are interested, we'll talk about that. So anyway, everybody have a great day and see you soon. Okay, we're back, folks. And as you can see, the octopus is doing really quite well. I'll hold the pan up to you so you can take a look at it. But we've got it all nice and sauteed up now. And like I said, so we're going to add the peppers back into it with the garlic. And we're going to throw in our mushrooms. We got our enoki mushrooms going inside there. And they aren't going to take very long to cook up. This is going to give this an awful lot of really, really good flavor. Then in just a moment, I'm going to add some white wine. I'm using a Chardonnay. And that happens to be what I'm going to have with dinner tonight. It'll pair quite nicely with this. Oh, and by the way, I do wear an apron all the time. The reason I do when I'm cooking, because I got tired of ruining good shirts. So that happened to me pretty frequently before. I was ruining all these good shirts I had. And I'm like, I do not like this. So, suggested was to get an apron. It's kind of a spiffy one. I had one that's kind of a gray one too, but I saw this one, and so I got this one. I like this one. Okay, so now the mushrooms are good. And so we're going to add a little bit of white wine. And for those of you that are looking for the recipe, I will have it posted eventually on the website. So you'll have that available to you. And this is going to deglaze the pan. So the reason I'm using the white wine, one, it imparts a lot of really good flavor to this. And number two, it's going to deglaze the pan. And that's really pretty much all we have to do with that there. So now, get a look at what this looks like. I'm going to transfer it back over to my bowl. And that's going to be our bowl we're going to use to put everything on top once we get the sauce nice and warmed up. So, next thing on the list, we'll put that there. And we're going to take our sauce. And again, this is a homemade tomato sauce that I'd made. And we're only going to use about, that much. And we probably have about 1.5 cups of sauce in here. And when I used the Chardonnay, that was about 1/4 cup. So if you want to measure it out or can't wait for the things that I put into the onto the website for the recipes, about 1/4 cup of Chardonnay. So now we're going to heat this up. And this won't take very long to heat up. So this is, while we're waiting for that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off, and then we'll be right back on here in just a moment. Okay, folks, we're back, and we're getting ready to plate it. So we have our spaghetti squash that we made earlier. I just took it out of the microwave, warmed it all nice up again. So we're going to put a thing of spaghetti squash on there, and you use it just like you would regular spaghetti. Works perfect that way. Then we've got our sauce, and I've reduced our sauce down a little bit, so we have a nice tasty sauce here to go over top. And then we have our octopus with our peppers, our sweet bell peppers, and our enoki mushrooms. So that goes on top of there like so. Okay, and then I reserved a few enoki mushrooms to go on top, and a few of the sweet peppers, sweet bell pepper. So kind of make that a little on the pretty side. And then fresh out of the garden, I've got some cherry tomatoes. So I'll put a couple cherry tomatoes in there. Let's go with 3. I like 3. Okay, and then finally, a little splash of kosher salt on top, and voila, we are done. And so this is our meal. It's going to be a really delicious meal, but this is spaghetti squash with a homemade tomato sauce, octopus, sweet bell peppers, enoki mushrooms, and cherry tomatoes. Sounds really good, and it's going to be delicious. So, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you watching me. And stay tuned for more, because I'm going to be doing more stuff. I'm going to try to do at least 3 videos a week. And eventually what I'm going to be doing is a master class also. So if any of you are interested, it'll be videos of stuff that I'm not putting on a regular site. So it'll be but it'll be a paid subscription. But I will have things on there and teach you little tricks, things like that along the way. So stay tuned for that. It's all coming. It's in the works. And we're going to have t-shirts and mugs available too at some point. So take care.